Hello friends, welcome to Dreamweaver Crocheting with Love. This is the part 2 of our granny square tutorial. In this tutorial, we will learn how to crochet this puff stitch flower granny square. Now initially we will be working this puff stitch flower and then we need to work a granny square around it. So let's see how this worked out. The materials that we need in order to make this puff stitch flower granny square are a 3 mm crochet hook. These are the 3 cotton yarns that I will be using. For making the puff stitch flower, I will be using these 2 colors, and for working the granny square part, I will be using this grey colored yarn and scissors. So let's begin. Here, as you can see, initial we'll be working with this center portion of our puff stitch flower. For this, I will be using this yellow colored yarn. Work a magic circle. And into this magic circle, make 8 single crochets. After working the 8 single crochets, pull the tail of the magic circle in order to close it. And slip stitch on top of the first single crochet worked. So that completes our first round. Now in order to work the second round, work 2 chains. And these 2 chains will be considered as a half double crochet followed by 1 chain. Now into the next 7 stitches, the sequence that will be following is first work 1 half double crochet followed by 1 chain. Again moving to the next stitch, work 1 half double crochet followed by 1 chain. So just continue like this till you reach the end. Here I worked the second round of our center portion, and the sequence was to work 1 half double crochet followed by 1 chain. So in total I have done 8 half double crochets followed by 8 chain 1 spaces. And finally I have slip stitched on top of the second chain and cut the yarn. Now for the petals we will be using the mustard yellow colored yarn. So into one of the chain 1 spaces, join this new colored yarn and work 3 chains. For making the petals we will be using the puff stitch. So for each petal I will be making a puff stitch of 10 loops. So just yarn over, going inside the space, pull up a loop, again yarn over, go inside the space, pull up a loop. So I have done 2 times. I will be doing the same process for 3 more times. So in total I have 10 loops on my hook. Yarn over, pull through all the 10 loops. I have 2 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through the 2 loops. So in this way we have worked a puff stitch of 10 loops. In order to complete this petal, work 3 chains and going back into the same space, work a slip stitch. So that completes our first petal. Now to work the second petal, going into the next chain 1 space, work a slip stitch. And we'll be repeating the same process, that is working 3 chains, and then we need to work a puff stitch of 10 loops. Again work 3 chains and slip stitch into the same space. So we have done the second petal. In total we will be working 8 petals. So 2 are already done. So using the same steps, just work out the next 6 petals. So once I am done with the 8 petals in total, I shall get back. After working the the last petal of our puff stitch flower, I have worked one more slip stitch into the chain 1 space of the first petal and cut my yarn. So that finishes our puff stitch flower. Now using the grey colored yarn, we will be working a granny square around this flower. So first make a slip knot. Now going to the back part of the flower, on one of the petals, just insert the hook in this way and pull up the loop and work a single crochet. Now work 4 chains. And moving to the next petal, again going to the back part of the petal, insert your hook in this manner and work a single crochet followed by 4 chains. So this you will be repeating for all the petals, and the sequence is to work 1 single crochet on the back part followed by 4 chains. Again going to the next petal, insert your hook on the back part of the petal and work a single crochet followed by 4 chains. So just continue working like this till you reach the last petal. After working a single crochet on the back part of the last petal, I have worked 4 chains, and in order to complete the first round, we need to slip stitch on top of the first single crochet worked. So that completes the first round. For the second round, work a slip stitch into the chain 4 space. Now we will be working with the first corner. For that, work 3 chains. This is considered as the first double crochet, and 2 more double crochets into the same space. Work 3 chains, and going back to the same space, work 3 more double crochets. So I have done with the first corner. Now moving to the next chain 4 space, work 3 double crochets. In the round 1, we had worked about 8 chain 4 spaces. Into the first 2 chain 4 spaces, I have worked a corner followed by 3 double crochet into the next chain 4 space. Now we will be repeating these 2 sequence into the rest of the 6 chain 4 spaces. Now moving to the next chain 4 space, work the second corner. 3 double crochets, followed by 3 chains and 3 more double crochets into the same space. So here I have done the second corner. Now moving to the next chain 4 space, work 3 double crochets. Now we are left with 4 chain 4 spaces. So just continue working like this. So over here you can see I have worked 4 corners, and between the corners we have worked the increases, that is 3 double crochets. So that completes our second round. Now for the third round, we need to slip stitch till we reach the chain 3 space of the corner. I shall start with the third round. Work 3 chains. These 3 chains are considered as a first double crochet, and work 2 more double crochets into the same space. Now work 3 chains and going back into the same space, work 3 more double crochets. So this makes our first corner. Now we'll be working increases for this side. Now you can see there are gaps on the either side of the 3 double crochets that we have worked in the first round. So moving to the first gap, work 3 double crochets. So we have worked 3 double crochets on the first gap. Now going to the second gap, work 3 more double crochets. Now we have come to the corner. Into this chain 3 space of the corner, work the second corner. So each corner will be worked in a similar manner. That is 3 double crochets followed by 3 chains and 3 more double crochets, all worked into the same space. So here I have done with the second corner. Now as we have done this side, we will be continuing the same steps for the other 3 sides too. So once I am done with it, I shall get back. Now after working the third round, I have slip stitched on top of the third chain work and cut my yarn. Now since I'll be using this granny square to make a bag, and all the granny squares that I worked earlier are of same size, I have stopped with this round. But in case if you want to make it bigger, then I have explained that clearly in part 1 of this tutorial. So I shall give the link above for your reference. Just go through it and make the granny square as big as you want. So that's all for today's tutorial. I hope you found this tutorial really very useful as well as interesting too. In case of any queries, please let me know through comments. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.